Now I want to talk to you a little bit about the arm bar before we go further in the lesson. The arm bar itself is one of the most effective, but at the same time one of the most challenging of all the techniques in the martial arts. It requires the utmost in precision. And as you go through the segment on the arm bar, you'll see exactly what we're talking about in terms of precision. Always be mindful that if you vary the arm bar or if you lose the precision at any point in time, it will not be an effective technique for you. So pay close attention to the principles, the underlying principles of the arm bar as they're about to be explained. Secondly, later on in the session, we'll talk about some of the applications of the arm bar, and also later on we'll talk about what to do if you lose control of the person using an arm bar, what type of fallback techniques are there. Assisting us in instructing the arm bar segment is Sensei Calvin Devereaux of the Iron Crane Gunfu School. Sensei Calvin, I'm going to turn the session over to you at this point. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, sir. Your arm, please. For the basics of the arm bar, we want to first examine the location of the elbow and the angle of both the forearm and the upper arm. As we move into the position, the basic position of the arm bar, we're going to place the ulna bone 3 fingers above the elbow so that we're striking the Golgi reflex. As we place the forearm onto the upper arm of our attacker, we need to make sure that it is perpendicular both on this plane and on this plane. Although the technique is performed with the elbow fully extended, in order to gauge our forearm, we need to examine where our opponent's forearm would be if the elbow were bent at a 90-degree angle. It needs to be completely perpendicular, and again perpendicular on this plane with his upper arm. As we extend the arm out, our attacking hand is in a live hand formation so that we're digging into the reflex, and there's a slight scooping motion at the bottom so that you're coming in 3 fingers above the elbow and then scooping toward the elbow. Notice the reaction. In order to enhance the technique, when you perform your basic block, you can slide down to the wrist, place the middle finger and the thumb in between the bones of the wrist and the base of the hand so that you're striking those points. You can also bend over the back of the hand. This provides control over the entire arm and the rotation of the arm, but also provides an extra point of pressure, each of these adding to the key point, which is 3 fingers above the elbow. As we take the opponent down with the arm bar, we want to ensure that we're upright, that we're moving from one point, and that our opponent's balance is being broken, but ours is always maintained. That's the basic position for the arm bar, and as Sensei Bill just mentioned, we'll be moving into more advanced applications of it in just a moment.
Okay, right now we're going to show you ways to practice the arm bar with your partner. Make sure you do this. Make sure you practice with your partner. And I'm going to tell you right now that you'll seem a little bit frustrated with this technique at first, but you can do this. Stay with it. Before long, you'll know when your partner's doing it effectively against you because you'll be telling to lay off on it a little bit. It does begin to hurt. When you're applying all these things effectively in concert, they're cumulative. An effective arm bar can stop an attack. An ineffective one will only get you into trouble. Best way to start practicing it, he grabs at my right hand with his right hand. Remember a few minutes ago we talked about the escapes, the reverse? See the reverse. See how it aligns his elbow, the 3-finger point, directly for my placement onto that point, in effect executing the arm bar. I go in, place, bring him down with the pressure. Now I'm only bringing him down to this point for practice purposes. Your objective is not to damage or seriously injure your opponent. Okay? Now he grabbed right hand to right hand. Remember that. Right hand to right hand, left hand to left hand. See the rotation with the live hand? If I do that with a closed hand, he'll be able to resist it because he'll be able to respond to me. Soft hand reaction, over the top, into the arm bar. See the dig. Okay? Left hand, reversing it for the camera, over the top. Okay, reverse grab release, arm bar. Notice how I try to sense, how I try to read where the flex of his arm is. You see the flex there? I straighten the arm out over the top. Okay, now I need to caution you about two things. If you overreach it, he can bend out of the arm bar. Okay? If you don't place it far enough up of the arm, you can also get out of the arm bar. You can flex out of it and do some technique against you. So the placement on the three-finger point is crucial to the technique, and then controlling it. So for example, if he begins to vary his arm a little bit, notice how I control it. He varies it again, all the way down to the ground. Okay? When you practice it with each other, I grab, he sets it up. Okay, I begin to vary it. He corrects. I vary it. He corrects. Okay, all the way down to the ground without hurting each other. Make sure that you begin to vary it. After you get the basic technique, you begin to vary it so that you develop confidence in correcting should your attacker or your opponent or your partner try to fool you out of the move. Okay, other ways to use the arm bar. This is the obvious way. Over the top, he grabs with two hands. Same thing works, same way. Two hands. Okay, he grabs with left hand to my right hand, opposite side. Clear, snap his finger, his thumb, arm bar from this side. Okay, he grabs from this side, over the top, variation of an arm bar. Watch closely. Striking. See, the arm bar is now an arm break. Still, essentially an arm bar technique. He grabs low, here, grab, watch. Grab, striking. Still an arm bar technique. He grabs other side, in here, grabbing. Watch how I use the arm bar, applied with my bicep, start you attack us from the side. There's another attacker coming in from the side right now. He throws a punch at me. I drive this man into him. Thank you, sir. So the arm bar has many, many applications. Now variations of the arm bars, over the top, chicken wing variation. Over the top, up and down. Watch closely. This is an arm bar. See it? Watch the conversion. Still an arm bar. Over the top, coming up. Another variation of the arm bar here, over the top, down. Variation of the arm bar, he grabs one hand, strike, of the side, strike. See it? Arm break. Grabs at my belt, grabs low, watch closely. Arm break. Stronger arm break. See the difference? All that is the arm bar applied with a different philosophy. Instead of controlling, using it to break the opponent's arm, using it to move the person into another attack, or using it to vary your own position. All those are possible. All those are possibilities. We talked a little while ago, though, about what happens if the person starts to roll out of an arm bar. So, for example, let's switch sides so the camera can pick up on this a little bit better. He grabs, left hand, over the top. I'm about to place him into an arm bar. He begins to move out of it. Watch closely. Maintain control on my chest with this point, right here, pressure point, right down to the ground. Okay? Same thing intentionally as a technique in its own right. Setting up as an elbow strike over the top, down. Very painful technique. See the roll. It's an arm bar variation. Okay, you tighten the muscles, you tighten the ligaments, you wrap them around the nerves. In this case, it would be the ulnar nerve crossing over, driving it down. Watch. Watch the control you have. Just one point. It really does hurt that much. Okay? Another variation. He senses I'm going to put him into an arm bar. He flexes his arm. He's about to hit me. I take his wrist. See it? The twist. Do a close-up on this, sir, if you will. He grabs up high. And we'll talk more about wrist pinches a little bit later. Look. See it? Just like wringing a cloth. Okay? Stay down there, sir, if you will. Lie down. Arm bar on the ground, variation. He's here. I want him around on his stomach. Watch closely. Keep the camera on Sensei Calvin, if you will. Here, look at the arm bar. On my leg, over and down. See the arm bar? Look at the variation now. Still an arm bar. Watch closely. Still an arm bar. Can you get up, sir?
No, Sensei.
Okay, watch closely. Nothing there at all. Still an arm bar. All those are variations. Thank you, sir. Take those, play with them. One other variation for you before we close down this segment of the lesson. He throws a punch. He's down on the ground. Okay, still an arm bar. Still an arm bar. Okay, still an arm bar. Thank you, sir. Pick the ones that you like the most, make them part of your martial arts style. We'll move on to the next segment.